Jurors, please meet behind the diving boards to meet the officials, and I will announce the diving board. Diving first from Lee Summit North, Sedona Miles. Diving second from Liberty, Parker Tilley. Diving third from Liberty, Molly Tuig. Diving fourth from Lee Summit North, Kennedy Lloyd. Diving fifth from Lee Summit, Callie Williams. Diving sixth from Lee Summit North, Grayson Chamberlain. Diving seventh from Lee Summit North, Monica Valmassi. Diving eighth from Liberty, Rebecca Davison. Diving ninth from Lee Summit West, Michaela Common. 10th from Blue Spring South, Juliana Biscari. 11th from Lee Summit West, Hannah Lewis. Diving 12th from Blue Springs, Mackenzie Loudermilk. Diving 13th from Liberty, Mary Kate Keller. Diving 14th from Blue Springs, Natalie Van Hoosen. Diving 15th from Lee Summit West, Emily Wilson. Ryan, are you getting the national anthem ready? All right, everyone, please stand for the national anthem. forward 1-1 somersault pike 1.7. Scores 5-1/2, 6, 6-1/2, 6, 6. Parker 202A back 1 somersault straight 1.7, Molly on deck. Scores 5, 5-1/2, 6, 6-1/2, 6. Molly 401B inward dive pike 1.5, Kennedy on deck. Scores 6-1/2, 5-1/2, 7, 6-1/2, 7. Kennedy 401C inward dive tuck 1.4, Callie. Scores 6, 6, 6, 6-1/2, 5-1/2. Callie 401B inward dive pike 1.5, Grayson. Scores 6-1/2, 6-1/2, 7, 7, 6. Grayson 103B forward 1-1 somersault pike 1.7, Annika. Scores 4, 5, 5, 5-1/2, 4-1/2. Annika 401B inward dive pike 1.5, Rebecca. Scores 7, 7, 7-1/2, 7-1/2, 7. Rebecca 103C forward 1-1 somersault tuck 1.6, Michaela. Scores 6, 5, 6, 6-1/2, 5-1/2. Michaela 401C inward dive tuck 1.4, Juliana. Scores 6, 5-1/2, 6, 6, 5-1/2. Juliana 103B forward 1-1 somersault pike 1.7, Anna. Scores 6, 5-1/2, 6-1/2, 7, 5-1/2. Can you please re-flash those scores? 6, 5-1/2, 6-1/2, 7, 5-1/2. Anna 101C forward dive tuck 1.2, Mackenzie. Scores: 6, 6 1/2, 7, 6 1/2, 6. Mackenzie, 401B, inward back height, 1.5. Mary Kate. Scores: 6 1/2, 6, 7, 6 1/2, 6. Mary Kate, 401B, inward back height, 1.5. Natalie. Scores: 7 1/2, 6, 7 1/2, 7 1/2, 6 1/2. Natalie, 102B, forward 1 somersault pike, 1.5. Emily. Scores: 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Emily, 101C, forward back truck, 1.2. Sedona. Scores: 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 5. Beginning the second round of diving, Sedona, 104C, forward 2 somersaults tuck, 2.2. Parker. Scores: 4, 4, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2. Parker, 5223D, back 1 somersault, 1 1/2 to a straight, 2.3. Molly. Scores: 6, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 5. Molly, 403C, inward 1 1 somersault tuck, 2.2. Kennedy. Scores: 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 5 1/2. Kennedy, 402C, inward 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Cali. Scores: 6, 6, 6 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Cali, 403C, inward 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.2. Grayson. Scores: 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 6, 6. Grayson, 104C, forward 2 somersaults tuck, 2.2. Anka. Scores. 5 1/2, 5, 6, 6, 5 1/2. Annika, 403B, inward 1/1 somersault pike, 2.4, Rebecca. Scores. 7, 7, 7 1/2, 7 1/2, 7. Rebecca, 104C, forward 2 somersaults tuck, 2.2. Scores. 5 1/2, 5, 6 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Michaela, forward 2C, inward 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Juliana. Scores. 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Juliana, 104C, forward 2 somersaults, tuck, 2.2. Anna. Scores. 5, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 4 1/2. Anna, 103C, forward 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 1.6. Mackenzie. Scores. 4 1/2, 5, 5, 6, 5. Mackenzie, 403C, inward 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.2. Mary Kate. Scores. 6, 6 1/2, 5, 6 1/2, 6. Mary Kate, 403C, inward 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.2. Natalie. Scores. 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Natalie, 5122D, forward 1 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.9. Emily. Scores. 6, 6 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 6. Emily, 102C, forward 1 somersault tuck, 1.4. Sedona. Scores. 5, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Beginning the third round of diving, Sedona, 401B, inward dive height, 1.5. Scores. 6, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Parker, 204C, back 2 somersaults tuck, 2.0. Scores 5, 5, 5, 6, 5 and 1/2. Molly, 201C, back at check, 1.5. Scores 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6. Kennedy, 101C, 4, back check, 1.2. Scores 4, 4 and 1/2, 4, 5, 4. Callie, 103B, 4, 1 somersault height, 1.7. Scores 7, 6 and 1/2, 7, 7, 6 and 1/2. Grayson, 401C, inward back check, 1.4. Scores 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Annika, 103B, forward 1 somersault height, 1.7. Scores 6, 6 and 1/2, 7 and 1/2, 7 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Rebecca, 202A, back 1 somersault straight, 1.7. Scores 6, 6, 7, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Michaela, 103B, forward 1 somersault height, 1.7. Scores 5, 6, 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6. Juliana, 402C, inward 1 somersault jump, 1.6. Scores 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Anna, 401C, inward back jump, 1.4. Scores 6, 6 and 1/2, 7, 6, 6. Mackenzie, 5223D, back 1 somersault, 1 and 1/2 twist, 3, 2.3. Scores 5, 4 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 5. Mary Kate, 201A, back leg straight, 1.7. Scores 5 and 1/2, 5 reverse one somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Emily, 51-21D, forward one somersault, half twist free, 1.7. Scores, 4, 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5. Beginning fourth round of diving, Sedona 402C, inward one somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 5, 6. Parker, 103C, forward 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Volley, 203C, back 1 somersault tuck, 2.0. Scores, 5 1/2, 5, 5, 6, 5 1/2. Kennedy, 102C, forward one somersault tuck, 1.4. Scores, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2 across. Callie, 104B, forward 2 somersaults, pike, 2.3. Scores, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 5, 6. Grayson, 402C, inward one somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores, 5 1/2, 6, 6 across. Anka, 105C, forward 2 1/2 somersaults tuck, 2.4. Scores, 6 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 7 1/2, 6 1/2. Rebecca, 52-21D, drop a 1 somersault, half twist free, 1.7. Scores, 6, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Michaela, 104C, forward 2 somersaults tuck, 2.2. Scores, 1/2, 4 1/2 across. Juliana, 403C, inward 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.2. Scores, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Anna, 402C, inward 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Mackenzie, 103B, 4 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 1.7. Scores, 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6. Mary Kate, 203C, back 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.0. Scores, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2. Natalie, 402C, inward 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5 1/2. Emily, 4 on 1C, inward 9 tuck, 1.4. Scores, 6, 6, 5, 6 1/2, 6. Beginning with fifth round reviving, Sedona, 5231D, back 1 1/2 somersault, half twist 3, 2.1. Scores, 5, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Parker, 104C, 4 2 somersaults, tuck, 2.2. Scores, 2 across. Molly, 5122D, board 1 somersault, 1 twist 3, 1.9. Scores, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 5 1/2. Kennedy, 202C, back 1 somersault tuck, 1.5. Scores, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Tally 5132D, board 1 1/2 somersault, 1 twist free, 2.2. Scores, 4, 5 1/2, 6, 6, 5 1/2. Grayson, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. 302C. Scores, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5, 5. Annika, 5225D, back 1 somersault, 2 1/2 twist free, 2.7. Scores, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Rebecca, 5231D, back 1 1/2 somersault, half twist free, 2.1. Scores, 5, 5, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2. Michaela, 5122D, board 1 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.9. Scores, 5, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 5. Juliana, 5231D, back 1 1/2 somersault, half twist free, 2.1. Scores, 5, 4 1/2, 4, 6, 5. Anna, 5221D, back 1 somersault, half twist free, 1.7. Scores, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2, 6, 6. Mackenzie, 104C, board 2 somersaults, tuck, 2.2. Scores, 6, 6, 5, 6, 5 1/2. Mary Kate, 5223D, back 1 somersault, 1 1/2 twist free, 2.3. Scores, 6 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Natalie, 403C, in with 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.3. Scores. 5, 5, 5 1/2, 5, 4 1/2. Emily, 202C, back 17, self-tuck 1.5. Scores. 5, 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. That concludes the fifth round of diving. Divers, you may take 2 warm-up dives or approaches. right, we are ready to get started with the next rounds. Alright, so Donna, being the sixth round at diving 301C, reverse dive truck for 1.6. Scores? 5, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5, 5 and 1/2. Parker, 302C, reverse one somersault truck, 1.6. Scores? 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2. Molly, 103B, forward 1 and 1/2 somersault plank, 1.7. Scores? 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6, 5 and 1/2. Kennedy, 301C, reverse step tuck, 1.6. Incomplete. Callie, 201B, back dive plank, 1.6. Scores? 6, 6, 7, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Grayson, 201A, back dive straight, 1.7. Scores? 4 and 1/2, 5, 5 and 1/2, 5, 5. Annika, 301B, reverse side plank, 1.7. Scores? 7 and 1/2, 7, 7 and 1/2, 8, 7. Rebecca, 401C, inward arc tuck, 1.4. Scores? 6, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 7, 6 and 1/2. Michaela, 201C, back dive tuck, 1.5. Scores? 5, 5, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6. Juliana, 301C, reverse dive tuck, 1.6. Scores? 6, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 7. Scores? 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5, 6, 5. Mackenzie, 202A, back 1 somersault straight, 1.7. Scores? 5 1/2, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 6. Mary Kate, 103C, forward 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores? 8, 7, 7, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Natalie, 301C, reverse side tuck, 1.6. Scores? 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Emily, 5221D, back 1 somersault, half twist 3, 1.7. Scores? 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 6, 6, 4 1/2. Begin the second round of diving, Sedona, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores? 4, 5, 4, 4, 5. Parker, 401C, inward dive tuck, 1.4. Scores? 6, 6 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Molly, 104C, forward 2 somersault tuck, 2.2. Scores? 2 across. Kennedy, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores? 5, 5, 6, 6, 5 1/2. Callie, 301B, reverse side pike, 1.7. Scores? 4, 4, 4, 4 1/2, 3 1/2. Grayson, 202C, back out somersault tuck, 1.5. Scores. 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 5, 4 1/2. Annika, 303C, reverse 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.1. Scores. 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 7 1/2, 8 7. Rebecca, 402C, inward 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores. 6 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6. Michaela, 203C, back 1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.0. Scores. 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2. Juliana, 302B, reverse 1 somersault pike, 1.7. Scores. 5 1/2, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Anna, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Incomplete. Mackenzie, 204C, back 2 somersaults tuck, 2.0. Scores. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 4 1/2. Mary Kate, 104C, 4 2 somersaults tuck, 2.2. Scores. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 5 1/2, 5. Natalie, 201C, back dive tuck, 1.5. Scores. 5 5 5, 5 1/2, Scores. 4 1/2, 5, 4 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Parker, 402C, inward 1, somersault, tuck, 1.6. Scores. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 5. Molly, 301C, reverse side tuck, 1.6. Scores. 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 6. Kennedy, 5221D, Dr. 1, somersault, half twist free, 1.7. Scores. 5221, back left half twist. 0, 3 1/2, 3, 4 1/2, 4. Can you reflash those scores one more time, please? 0, 3 1/2, 3, 4 1/2, 3. Callie, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores. 6, 6 1/2, 6, 6, 6 1/2. Grayson, 5122D, forward 1 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.9. Scores. 4, 5 1/2, 5, 4 1/2, 3. Annika, 201B, back out pike, 1.6. Scores. 8 1/2, 7 1/2, 8 1/2, 8, 7. Rebecca, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores. 4, 4, 3, 4, 4 1/2. Michaela, 301C, reverse side tuck, 1.6. Scores. 5, 5, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Juliana, 202A, back 1 somersault straight, 1.7. Scores. 5 1/2, 7, 6 1/2, 7, 6 1/2. Anna, 201A, back out straight, 1.7. 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 7, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Mackenzie, 301C, reverse bend tuck, 1.6. Scores 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Mary Kate, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores 5, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Natalie, 103B, forward 1, 1/2 somersault pike, 1.7. Scores 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 5 1/2. Emily, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 3. This completes the 8th round of diving. Divers, you may take 2 warm-up dives and board approach it. We will reorder the order. we have a new diving order going through the last 3 rounds. Diving first, Kennedy Lloyd. Diving second, Anna Lewis. Diving third, Emily Wilson. Diving fourth, Grayson Chamberlain. Fifth, Sedona Miles. Sixth, Parker Tilley. Seventh, Michaela McCommon. Eighth, Natalie Van Hoosen. Ninth, Molly Tui. 10th, Rebecca Davison. 11th, Juliana Viscari. 12th, Callie Williams. 13th, Mackenzie Loudermill. 14th, Mary Kate Heller. And 15th, Annika Valmassi. Everyone ready to start? All right. Kennedy, getting the 9th round of diving, 201A, back dive straight, 1.7, Anna on deck. Scores: 5, 5, 5.5, 6, 5.5. Anna, 202 feet back, 1 somersault tuck, 1.5, Emily on deck. Scores: 6, 5.5, 6, 5.5, 5.5. Emily, 201A, back dive straight, 1.7, Grace on deck. A, back dive straight, 1.7. Scores: 4, 4.5, 5, 5. 4. Grayson, 301C, reverse dive tuck at 1.6, Sedona. Incomplete. Sedona, 5132D, forward 1 1/2 somersault, 1 twist 3, 2.2, Parker on deck. Incomplete. Parker, 5221D, back 1 somersault, back twist 3, 1.7. Michaela. Scores: 6, 6, 5, 6, 5.5. Michaela, 5221D, back 1 somersault, half twist 3, 1.7. Natalie. Scores: 6, 6, 6, 5.5, 6. Natalie, 104C, 42 somersaults tuck, 2.2. Molly. back 1 somersault, half twist 3, 1.7, Rebecca. Scores: 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6, 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Rebecca, 201A, back 5 straight, 1.7. Juliana. Scores: 5 and 1/2, 5, 5 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6. Juliana, 204C, back 2 somersaults, tuck, 2.0, Callie. Scores: 4, 4, 5, 6, 4 and 1/2. Callie, 202A, back 1 somersault straight to 1.7, Mackenzie. Scores: 5 and 1/2, 6, 6, 6 and 1/2, 7. Mackenzie, 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6, Mary Kate. Scores: 6, 6, 6 and 1/2, 6, 6 and 1/2. Mary Kate, 52, 21D, back 1 somersault, half twist 3, 1.7, on the ground. Scores: 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 6, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Annika, 404C, inward 2 somersaults, tuck, 2.8. Scores: 6, 6, 6 and 1/2, 6, 7. Beginning the 10th round of diving, Kennedy, 103C, forward to 1/1/2 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores: 4, 5, 5, 5 and 1/2, 5. Anna, 102C, forward 1 somersault tuck, 1.4. Scores: 6, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2. Emily, 103C, forward 1/1/2 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores: 4 and 1/2, 5, 5, 5, 5 and 1/2. Grayson, 101B, forward dive tight, 1.3. Scores 4, 5, 4, 6, 5 and 1/2. Sedona 203C back 1/1 somersault tuck 2.0. Scores 4 and 1/2, 5, 5 and 1/2, 5, 5 and 1/2. Parker 102B forward 1 somersault height 1.5. Scores 6 and 1/2, 6, 7, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2. Michaela 302C reverse 1 somersault tuck 1.6. Scores 4 and 1/2, 5, 6, 6, 5. Natalie 202A back 1 somersault straight 1.7. Yep, 202A back 1 somersault straight.
Hello.
Scores 5, 5 and 1/2, 4 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2. Molly 5222D back 1 somersault 1 twist free 1.9. Scores 5 and 1/2, 6, 6, 6, 5 and 1/2. Rebecca 204C back 2 somersaults tuck 2.0. Two across. Juliana 5222D back 1 somersault 1 twist free 1.9. Scores 4, 3, 3, 4 and 1/2, 4. Callie 5223B back 1 somersault 1 and 1/2 twist free 2.3. Scores 6, 6 and 1/2, 7, 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Mackenzie 5122D forward 1 somersault 1 twist free 1.9. Scores 6, 6, 6 and 1/2, 6, 6. Mary Kate 303C reverse 1 1/2 somersault tuck 2.1. somersault 1 and 1/2 twist free, 2.3. Scores 7, 7, 7 and 1/2, 7, 7. Kennedy, 51-22D, forward 1 somersault, 1 twist free, 1.9. This is the 11th and final round of the night. Scores 1 1/2, 2, 3, 5, 4 and 1/2. Anna, 51-21D, forward 1 somersault, half twist free, 1.7. Scores 5, 5, 5 and 1/2, 6, 5 and 1/2. Emily, 402C, inward 1 somersault, top 1.6. Scores 3 and 1/2, 4 and 1/2, 5, 4 and 1/2, 4 and 1/2. Grayson, 52-21D, that 1 somersault, half twist free, 1.7. Scores 3 and 1/2, 4, 3 and 1/2, 4, 3. Sedona, 403C, inward 1 1/2 somersaults, tuck 2.2. Scores 4 and 1/2, 4 and 1/2, 5, 3 and 1/2, 3 and 1/2. Parker, 304C, reverse 2 somersaults, tuck 2.1. Scores 2 and 1/2, 3, 3 and 1/2, 4 and 1/2, 2 and 1/2. Michaela, 403C, inward 1 1/2 somersault, tuck 2.2. Scores 5 and 1/2, 5, 6, 6 and 1/2, 5 and 1/2. Can we reflash the scores, please? 5 and 1/2, 5, 6. Reflash, please. 6 and 1/2, 6 and 1/2. Natalie, 52-21D, back 1 somersault, half twist free, 1.7. 302C, reverse 1 somersault tuck, 1.6. Scores. 5 1/2, 6, 6, 6, 6. Rebecca, 301C, reverse back tuck, 1.6. Scores. 4 1/2, 4, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 3 1/2. Juliana, 53-31B, reverse 1 1/2 somersault, half twist 3, 2.2. Scores. 3 1/2, 4, 6, 5 1/2, 3 1/2. Callie, 402B, and 1 somersault pike, 1.7. Scores. 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2. Mackenzie, 51-32D, forward 1 1/2 somersault, 1 twist 3, 2.2. Scores. 5 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 6, 6. Mary Kate, 52-25D, back 1 somersault, 2 1/2 twist 3, 2.7. Scores. 4 1/2, 3, 2, 6, 3 1/2. Annika, 203B, back 1 1/2 somersault pike, 2.3. Scores. 5 1/2, 6, 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 6. This concludes the diving competition. So a round of applause for all the fabulous divers. We'll have results shortly.
possible.
Oh,
This is an end stream.